Welcome to your soul guidance with Adriana. We have a collective reading today. We're going to look at the cosmic weather and messages that are asking to come through from our higher guidance. So let me get the deck ready. While I'm shuffling, I invite you to check out the description below. It not only has links to the extendeds, but also the special solstice reading that I'm offering for the next about month. Today being the solstice, this being a good time to let you know what's happening. Okay, what is the cosmic weather around us right now? No, I got one card coming out. 8 of Water. This feels like it's kind of that purging energy, that releasing energy, cleaning energy, but on the emotional level, in possibly the subconscious, but actually this card leads me to believe it's not the subconscious. It is conscious, but it's cleaning out that channel between the conscious and the subconscious. So what does that mean? Anything that you have been holding on to that is not needed, like the dredges of old attachments, or kind of the scud is a word that I use often with a friend, but there's another term I'm searching for. It's just like the little bits of dirt that are still there. It's not like the whole room is dirty, but there's just little bits that we're being asked to release. And especially things that we've been holding on to for a very long time. And it's very important at this time that we give space to releasing this energy. This placement, this card and this energy being around us at this time feels very deliberate, and it feels like the placement, hang on, let me get this in English first. This is one of those times where it's really important that we pay attention, that we're very conscious and aware of what is trying to be released. So everyone watching this video has something that needs to be released consciously. So none of us are accepted. None of us are off the hook. We have something that we really need to be aware of. Okay, so then what is the message around that? There's a longer message now. 6 of Fire, 5 of Fire, Judgment. This is a lot of fiery cards. And 8 of Fire, speaking of fiery cards. So Sagittarius is going out with a bang. All right. So 6 of Fire, 5 of Fire, Judgment, and then 8 of Fire. And Judgment is really a card that is ruled by Pluto, and that has a lot of fiery images in it. This card does a great job of showing you that. Okay, so we've got, it's like the issue gets your attention with this 6 of Fire. It comes forward for you to address it, and then all of the different facets that it affects your life are starting to show themselves to you. These cards have you dealing with them very calmly and very adroitly, with a lot of skill. And so it's like we can't just release them. They have to come up, and you have to interact with them in a way that is pushing them. It's like you're putting it in its place. Okay, so it's like the trigger comes up and you can't just ignore it. You can't just say, well, I'm going to run away from that trigger and I'm going to call that releasing it. It's the trigger comes up, and then you're being tested. How are you going to respond? Are you going to stay at peace and in your power and respond to it in a certain way? Or are you going to get emotional about it? Are you going to cause a drama about it? It's what are you going to do with this energy? So, I have a personal example to share with you. There's a group of people who I had felt that we were no longer kind of healthy for each other, I will say. And so I decided a long time ago to part ways. But someone who was connected to that group, not necessarily one of the people I wanted to part ways with, got in touch, kind of inviting us back into the group. And, it wasn't possible for us to attend the event, but my first instinct was, let's just ignore this. Let's just not even pretend. Let's just pretend like we didn't even see this. But that wasn't the right thing to do. The right thing to do was to write a very neutral email, just explaining our circumstance, why we couldn't attend the event, and to wish them well and then to move on, but just to keep it very even. And I talked to my guides about this, and they said, go ahead and send it. This is the right thing. So that was kind of one phase of the test. And then when you're able to deal with it in a way that does not trigger or affect you emotionally, then the judgment card, then we're allowed to move on. Then we're allowed to say, okay, time to be out of my energy field, time to be done. I don't need this pattern anymore. And we're good. Okay. So you see, you can't skip steps in this energy. And then we have the 8 of fire moving on to completion, but moving forward into the future, into a new journey. And it's really perfect because the judgment card allows you to close the door on the past, and then the 8 of fire takes you forward into the future with no attachment to that tie. And this is a swift moving energy, the 8 of fire. Is there anything else we need to know about the 8 of fire? The 8 of fire feels like a really beneficial card. It feels like a blessing. And what it is kind of saying to me is, right, this is a funny image that we're going to have to play with. But let's say you were trying to get on a train or a plane and you had a suitcase with you or a bag and you didn't have it closed properly. And let's say you tried to get on this train or plane with your bag kind of open and then all the stuff is spilling everywhere. That's what happens if we skip steps. Okay, if you recognize and you want to jump to judgment, when that train comes or the vehicle comes, the 8 of fire, and tries to pull you forward, if you haven't been able to close the door, close the suitcase, everything spills everywhere and you have a mess. And you're actually tied to that mess. But this is a really beautiful progression. We've stayed maybe too long, but this is a beautiful progression helping you close that door. Okay, I'm going to continue to pull cards for an extended reading. I want to get more information about what's next, what's in front of us with this 8 of fire. So that's where we're going to start that reading. If you would like to follow me over there, you're more than welcome to. You just need to go to the description below, click on it, and then click on the first link you see, which is Read the Extended. So I'll look forward to seeing you there. If not, then perhaps on another reading, and wishing you a lovely and meaningful solstice.